Taking a look now at the KNT Netball Association here on our Friday Sports Show, and it's been another big week in the KNT. They're all big weeks at this time of year, and we've got Sally Bywater here to tell us all about it. How are you, Sally?
I'm very well, thank you.
That's good. Good to have you on board as always. And we'll get straight into the round 11 action because there were some great games and the ladder continues to shake up just that little bit every single week. So we'll start off with the Friday night game from last week. We had a big Friday night game between Lucindale and Kybe Bolite at Lucindale. And it was Lucindale winning that one by 12 goals, 55-43. So what can you tell us about that matchup?
Yeah, it was a great game here at Lucindale last Friday night. So Kybe came out of the blocks firing and really controlled the game, taking the first quarter by 6. So they were 15-9 up at quarter time, but then Lucindale really put their foot down in the second quarter, taking that quarter 19-8, so 11-goal turnaround. So then having the lead by 5 at half time. So Kybe made it hard for Lucindale with the extra pressure down the court in the third, but Lucindale kept their calm and extending their lead to 10 at three-quarter time. And then, just winning by 12 in the end, which is a great game for Lucindale to really, they're making a good headway at the end of the season with some new players back for the first time this season, which we'd like to see. So they'll be full strength coming into the last 5 rounds.
So Lucindale flexing their muscles a little bit there now being at full strength. I think, personally, I thought based on current form, Kybe were probably going to win that one, but expected it to be a little bit closer than that at least. Kybe 5-3 and 2 draws on the season now. Lucindale 5-5, so pretty similarly ranked. But if Lucindale are back at full strength, they'll be a force to reckon with.
Absolutely, and yes, I probably thought Kybe the same would have had the edge in that game. But Lucindale sitting in that 5th spot and really want to play finals this season. So a great contest between these two clubs.
So we'll see if Lucindale can push towards that top 3 who have sort of been rotating top spot over the last few weeks. And on to our next game, and exciting stuff here. Bordertown get their first win for the season. So they've broken the duck with a 1-goal thriller over Mundalla, 33-32.
Yeah, it's great for every club now to have that win for the 2023 season. So great for Bordertown to have a 1-goal win against their little friendly foe here. So it was a great intensity. The game started with great intensity, which you'd normally see in the last quarter. So they were 6-8 at quarter time with Mundalla just edge in front there. Bordertown took the second quarter 9-6, so they were 1 goal up at half time. And then the third quarter, just great defensive pressure from both teams, which saw a few fumbles when Bordertown quick to get to the loose balls and having a 4-goal lead at three-quarter time. Mundalla then turned the tables again and really came out firing in the last quarter, bringing the scores back to level, then goal for goal, and Bordertown getting a goal on the siren to take the win by 1. So a great game here between these two clubs.
Yeah, great effort by Bordertown to get off the mark, and it's always good to see a league where there's no one that's sitting winless and no one undefeated either. It goes to show just how close the league is and how similar a lot of the teams are. So great to see Bordertown getting that win. Congratulations to them. And on to our next game, Penola with probably a bigger win than I personally would have expected over Narracourt, 61-33.
Yeah, huge win here by Penola, like 28 goals, which we probably weren't expecting. I do notice that Narracourt had their goal shooter out in Lucy Hensky, so that probably made a bit of a difference. So they probably had to do a rotation around of who was going to be on the court. But Penola just, from go to woe, fantastic effort. So 18-13 up at quarter time, then taking the second quarter 15-6, it's really stamped their authority, having a great lead at half time. And April Postingham from Penola shooting 43 of those 61 goals, so great to see her back in the lineup.
Yeah, definitely unexpected, that massive loss there. And we've talked about Narracourt being a bit of a sleeping giant on the ladder all year. And then they come out and have this result. I mean, they're sitting in 6th, 4 wins, 5 losses and a draw. But their percentage is, even with that 30-odd goal loss, their percentage is nearly the same as Keith, who are sitting in 2nd at 7-2. So it's an interesting state of affairs with Narracourt, and we don't really know what we're going to get with them from week to week. So we'll see if they can. Do you think they can push into that finals equation still?
Oh, it's going to be really tough now. Now that we've spoken about Lucindale being getting a few players back and being at full strength, it might be a bit hard for them, and now being one game out, so they really need to probably win most of their last games.
So a good crunch between Kybe, Lucendale and Naracoorte battling for fourth spot. Something we'll keep an eye on over the next few weeks as the season gets into the home stretch. And our last game for the round was Border Districts with a convincing win over Kingston 67-40.
Yeah, big win here by the Border Districts girls, and they were 34-22 up at half time. So they had a huge first half, which was great to see them back to some good form. So, yeah, winning that last quarter 19-11, so there were eight goals there. So just Kingston still put it up to them. They were still defensive very well, but just couldn't get the goals on the board, like Emma Heusler from Border District shooting 37 of them. So a great effort by her.
And Keith on the bye in round 11. So we'll look to round 12 now, and two of the teams we spoke a lot about there in round 11 are facing off. So Bordertown, fresh off their first win, they're hosting Lucendale. So we'll see if Lucendale can keep their momentum going or if Bordertown can snag two in a row.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting this one. When they first met earlier in the season, Lucendale got the win 49-42, and that was a great game, and just probably one quarter that Bordertown went to sleep a bit in, but in wet conditions, and it could be wet again this week. But I think Lucendale will be really trying to stamp towards their final series and really want to make that top five. So I think they'll get the win here, but Bordertown coming fresh off a win will be very competitive this time around.
Keith back in action against Mundalla at Keith. Mundalla probably keen to find a bit of better form after giving Bordertown their first win last week, so they'll be coming out with a bit of aggression. And then Keith, fresh off the bye, should be looking pretty good, battling for top spot as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this will be a great game. When they met earlier, it was only Keith got the win by 9, but that was just in the second half. So it was a very even first half that Mundalla played very well in. It'll be indoors, so there'll be no weather conditions that they'll have to go by. And I think Keith will get the win, but I think Mundalla really put up to him after that loss last week.
And then into our next game, Kingston taking on Naracoorte. So Naracoorte certainly will be looking for a better effort than last week and trying to get back on the winners list.
Absolutely. I think they'll get the win this week at Kingston. They had a good win, 62-27 earlier in the season. So after that loss last week, I really think they'll be wanting to redeem themselves because they're just sitting out of that top 5. So I think they'll get a nice win here, but Kingston will really be very competitive. It'll be much closer than last time.
And our last game for the round, Border Districts trying to hold on to top spot. They're taking on fourth place Kybe Bolite, who are trying to stay at the front of that middle pack ahead of Lucendale and Naracoorte.
Yeah, absolutely. When they met earlier in the season, Kybe won by 6 goals against Borders. They'll probably want to do that again this week because, yeah, as we've said, they're just sitting in that fourth spot, and there's those 3 teams that want to get those 2 positions in the top 5, so they'll want to have this win. I think Borders will be too strong. They're looking good at this time of the season, sitting on top of the ladder, but, yeah, I think it'll be a great game and can't wait to see the result in this one.
And Penola, of course, on the bye this week. But we've seen in the past teams on the bye have actually moved up into top spot. So who knows, it might be good news for Penola being on the bye. If Keith lose, they will actually jump up into second. So might be a good week for Penola even on the bye.
That's exactly right. It's amazing how you can move up without even playing. So, yeah, we'll watch this space. That top 3 is very tight.
Absolutely. The whole ladder is very tight. The competition is heating up. There's only 5 rounds to go, and we're very excited to see how they all play out. Thanks for joining us again, Sally. Enjoy the netball this weekend, and we'll catch up with you next Friday.
Will do. Thank you very much.